What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing review, a review of the Ryobi electric lawnmower. And where is it? I didn't even pull it out. Yes, the Ryobi 20-inch brushless lawnmower. Now they do have, I believe they have a 22-inch version. They also have a self-propelled version, and of course some other ones on the market. As far as the others on the market, you have your Egos and your Sunjos, I think they are. I wouldn't personally get the Sunjos. They have those that where you plug in the extension cord to them. I don't think those are safe. They make me a little uncomfortable. They're cheap though. They are very cheap. But you can also find these Ryobis pretty cheap too, especially on the used market. The batteries are actually more valuable than the lawnmower. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this out so I can show you guys a little tour around the lawnmower, and then I'm going to show you guys how well it cuts and how far the battery. All right, so as you saw it propped up against the wall, you saw how it stores, and it's quite simple to get it ready to cut the grass. You just simply grab these handles on the side. And you lock them into place, and they have two settings. There's the top setting, and then there's a lower setting if you're shorter. And then after that, you pull the handle out and lock it into place. Once you've done that, it's time to put the battery in, because you don't want to leave the battery in there because that will drain it quickly. And it comes with a 40-volt 6 amp hour battery. The older models came with a 5 amp hour battery. Obviously the bigger the better, the longer it'll go. So you take this, you open this up, and you just slide it into place like so, and then you start it up. And here's how you start it. So in order to start the machine, you pull this back like any other lawnmower, and you push this button here. And I'll demonstrate it so you can hear how loud it is. And that's pretty much it for running the thing. It's actually really easy to operate. It does come with a bag. So if you need to bag your grass because it was too high or whatever, you can attach the bag. What you do is just basically pull that mulcher off there, and I'll demonstrate how to do that. Very simple. You just pull it, and that's it. Then you just slide the bag on there. To adjust the blade height, you have your adjuster there. There is a headlight here that just went off. Let me turn it back on so you can see. So yeah, it has an LED headlight that I have never needed because I always cut my grass during the day. I don't know who's out there cutting their grass at night, but you know, maybe it's really shaded in some parts, or you cutting grass in a barn. I don't know. I'm making up stuff. I just finished the whole video and the phone was paused. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and walk around the yard now so you guys can see how far you can go on the battery. Now, before we go for the walk, I just want to say this. The batteries seem to get better over time. Like, we've had this lawnmower for 10 months now, and I did do a video on it initially when I first got it, and I never posted it. At least I don't think I posted it. Uh, Man, I'm one of those people that like to use the product for quite a bit so I can actually speak intelligently on it and give you the pros and cons and all that. Um, but when we first got the machine, it came with a 6 amp hour battery. We would get to maybe like 60% of the yard, and then you know it got better gradually. Now, as last 2 times we cut the grass, the first time we ended with 1 bar left, and then this last time we ended up with 2 bars. And I gotta explain that one because the grass was a little higher, and my wife cut it first. She don't cut grass, and she did a bad job, so I had to go back over it, and it still had 2 bars left. So that's amazing. So the battery is getting better. Just make sure you maintain your batteries well. Don't leave them in the garage. Don't leave them in the lawnmower. Take them indoors. Leave them on the shelf or something like that, so that they're not susceptible to the extreme heat and extreme cold. So with that said, let's go ahead and walk through the yard real quick. All right, so starting here up front, we did the easement there. Walk through the grass. This is the front yard. And hopefully this gives you some scope. These are cars, phones are funny. So just see the width of the car and the yard. It's not a huge front yard. Coming around, property line stops at this clean sidewalk right here and goes back. Now, I talked about this a little earlier. For those of you familiar with Sunday lawn care, I was going to do a whole video on that. I'll just mention it. Well, I probably will, but I do want to mention something here. Last Saturday, this part of this house looked like that little brown patch, the whole side. And I used the Sunday fertilizer, and notice come Monday, it was green. Crazy. Okay, crazy. So I'll make another video talking about the Sunday, but I just wanted to show that that was pretty amazing, okay? So let's go through the yard. We've been trying to work with the yard and make it look beautiful as a whole. I know there's a lot of weeds now, but it was terrible, terrible before. And it's looking a lot better. All right, so it goes up to that corner over there. I know it's put to that corner right there, and all the way down over there. This side right here goes from right here, this line where my finger is going. So all of this, and the grass kind of needs to be cut again. Probably, what's today? Today Thursday? Maybe like Monday I'll cut it again. All right, and then of course the easement there, and there you have it. Now, like I said, and did all that off of really basically 2 bars the last time. So the battery's getting better. Now, let's talk about something else. A lot of people want to know, this is not the self-propelled version. The self-propelled version, I think, is the extra $100 or extra $120. Would I recommend the self-propelled? No, I would not. This thing is super light. You got to remember, it's not a traditional metal lawnmower with a motor in it. It's electric. So the whole thing is made of plastic. You have your blade underneath. It's a single blade. I think the self-propelled has a double blade, but this mulches just fine, cuts perfect. And of course the battery is heavy, but this thing pushes just fine. It doesn't matter how high the grass is, and I'll show some footage of when we got it last year and how high that grass was, and I cut it super low. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I cut it super low, and you can see this footage. All right, so you saw that it cuts. You gotta go a little slow when it's high, and you'll hear it. It'll just kind of make this. It'll be like and it'll go when it's kind of getting bogged down. Just slow your roll, and it'll cut the thing perfectly. What else? Would I recommend this Ryobi? Yes, I would. I would recommend this over the Ego, which I hear the Ego is light years better. Yes, it's self-propelled. I also hear that the Ryobi self-propelled version is a little wonky, so most people prefer this just the regular push one. But the Ego, I hear, is it's significantly better. The problem with the Ego, though, look, this cuts perfectly fine, and the Ego is wider, has a bigger blade, which means you get the job done faster, which means you get better battery life and you're not outside in the heat. Yes, that is a good thing. However, the Ego doesn't have an advanced line of other products. So you see here, I have the attach it version of the blower. I have a trimmer. I mean edger. I have a trimmer too. I have a weed whacker, and I have something else. I think. Now I think I might just have the blower, the weed whacker, and the edger, along with the lawnmower. They all take the same battery, so you get much better value. Like I got that set on sale for like $170, and it came with a 4 amp hour battery, and I could use that with the lawnmower. So what we typically do, me and my wife go out, she whacks the weeds and all of that, and I cut the grass, and she pulls up weeds and stuff like that too. And then at the end, she used a 4 amp hour battery for that, and I used a 6 amp hour battery for that. Last year, when this wasn't going the distance, it'd be plenty of juice left on a 4 amp hour battery after she finished that, and I would just have that on reserve, have that on the charger while I was still cutting the grass. When this died, I would go get the 4 amp hour battery, put it on there, and then I'd be able to finish the job. So it works well. Like in the beginning, you probably will need two batteries, but as time goes on and the batteries set in, you won't need that. But you can get a complete set for a lot less money. Actually, all of this costs less than just getting the Ego. So I would highly recommend the Ryobi. I don't think you have any problems. It does a great job. Most people don't have like 2, 3 acres or an acre or whatever. And most people that do have that type of, well, I don't want to say what most people do, but the average lawn size is like this. So it'll just do that perfectly fine. And that's about it. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you guys next time.